It's Thursday night, and you know what that means. Just a Bit Outside radio show, live on the air, live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Share the link, share the love. That's all we ask. Hit that little share button. The laughs are already starting. As always, you got Mark, you got Keisha. Keisha, how's it going?
What's up, outsiders? I'm doing well. I'm excited tonight. There's a lot going on. We got a nice little menu prepared for you guys. We got some records that are meant to be broken tonight, man. It's gonna be exciting. I'm looking forward to this episode, man. Really am.
Hell yeah. You know, we're gonna talk about Super Bowl. Obviously, you know, we got to give our thoughts on the game, and but it's just wild. Like, football's over, and for me, that's like so sad. But like, everything is jam packed into the show. We're gonna touch on everything, and it's crazy. Like every sport.
Yeah.
There's baseball. There's basketball. Of course, football. We're gonna talk about. Like, it's wild.
Yeah. This is like one of, and it always seems to be around this time of year because, you know, we close the season on football. Baseball starts up. Pitchers and catchers have reported to spring training this week. You know, and you know that we've talked about some pitchers being on the move. Of course, there are, you know, all eyes on Shohei. He's like the Tupac, the Asian Tupac of LA now. You know, everybody's watching him as he has joined his new squad. You know, donning the blue and white with the Dodgers. You know, we talked about Corbin Burns last week with the Orioles. You know, it's a lot going on with that. We just had the NBA trade deadline, All-Star weekend. You know, that's crazy. We're on the heels of March Madness, which is about 2 weeks, two and a half weeks away, man. So it's just like an insane, chaotic time every year.
Oh yeah.
With sports.
It's wild.
You know, so. You know, we're going to try to do our best to cram everything into about 45 minutes to an hour. So, let's do it. First things first, man. You fuck with the worst. I'm just on this hip-hop thing tonight. I'm sorry. I can't remember who that is. If anybody knows that line, can recognize that line, throw that up on the feed, yo. Maybe the professor will recognize that. I want to say... I feel like that was Wu-Tang. But anyway, let me get back inside. I'm going just a bit outside. Let me get back inside the realm of sports. Man, okay. So, we got the Super Bowl. Went down on Sunday. Great game. Some would say epic game. Right? I would say epic. Would you use the word epic?
Super Bowl?
Yeah.
We watched the same Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, I mean, with the overtime.
Look, that game was a dud. I don't care if it was overtime. I don't care if it was won on the final play of the game. Overtime doesn't make a game good. That was just... nah.
I mean, are you saying this because of the first half? Because honestly, the first half had what, like... Six points in it, 10 points maybe.
Something like that. But even
it was horrible. Yeah.
Even the second half, they were like dropping balls and turnovers.
Right.
Turnovers can be exciting in a game, but they weren't exciting turnovers in this game. They were just
okay. We're having our first beef of Black History Month here. And it's not a racial beef. I'm just saying, you know. But okay, so all right. Now we both agreed that there was zero offense in the first half. Six to 10 points. I can't remember exactly what it was. But it was a snoozer. But the score ended up 25-22. So the second half, I mean, there was some scoring going on there. And with the overtime to boot, I mean, I get what you're saying about 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 the whole thing with the epicness in overtime. And I do agree with you. Just because you go to overtime does not make the game epic. But when you went into overtime thinking, "Holy crap!" Well, at least I did. Okay, I went in there thinking, "Holy crap!" Of course, I start screaming the fixes in Patrick Mahomes, blah 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 blah. But they line up and they start talking about these new overtime rules, and you're like, "Whoa!" And me personally, I'm like, "Whoa, what? Did they change this? Like, how did I not know this?" I was completely confused. San Francisco ends up with the ball. My emotions are heightened. They only scored 3 points. I start screaming about the fix being in again, and then Patrick Mahomes orchestrates this incredible run down the field, this series, where he pretty much put the team on his back to win the game. I mean, I just thought that it kind of ended on a good note, considering the first half was complete trash.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. There were good plays, like CMC's touchdown. That was an amazing play.
Yeah.
But for every one play, there was about 37 trash plays. And just
tell him why you mad, son.
I mean, the 49ers at one point, they were averaging third downs were 12.8 yards. Like,
yeah,
they were getting pushed back so hard, and it wasn't much better for the Chiefs. It's like,
yeah.
Honestly, I don't even, to this day, it's Thursday, 4 days later, I assume Patrick Mahomes was named MVP, but I don't even, I didn't even pay attention to who they named, if they named it all on there, because that game was so much trash, no one deserved the award. Like, I would have taken the GMC truck back, being like, nah, no one gets the truck this year.
Doug, I agree with you. I mean, I just knew that Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I just figured Patrick Mahomes won that shit. I'm the same way as you. This was like the first time where I really, after they scored the touchdown, literally was like, okay, I'm going to bed. I mean, I didn't watch any celebrations or anything like that. Don't know who won the MVP. I'm also going to assume that it was Patrick Mahomes, solely. And to me, it's just solely off of that overtime run. That was great. I'm pretty sure he got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my sentiments exactly, dog. Like, I honestly feel like for the first time in a long time when it came to the Super Bowl, the freaking halftime show really was the hype of the whole evening.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The halftime show and the pregame festivities. I mean, we had Reba out there with the boots and the fur. Like, we had the Black National Anthem.
Yo, Post Malone's "America the Beautiful." What the hell,
yes,
man?
Yes, I was gonna say that as well. Like, dog, it was so it was much. I feel like those parts were much more exciting than the game itself.
Yeah, even earlier, and I don't know, like, when you tuned into the broadcast, but I had it on the whole damn day, like, because they go on pregame like 26 hours early. And,
yeah.
At one point, a couple hours before the game, they had Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton out there at a stage set up in the parking lot.
Yeah.
They had everything going on out there. It was a great time. Would have been awesome.
Yeah.
The game, for me, the game didn't live up to everything.
No, not at all. Not at all. It was trash. But let's go ahead and talk about, since I think we've said everything that really needs to be said about the game itself. Actually, you know what, Mark? Can I just make one quick comment about the game itself?
Yeah.
What the hell happened to George Kittle?
Man.
And to me, I felt like that was part of the setup as well. And, there were so many moments where I felt like it was like deja vu, where I was sitting watching the Ravens game, like, what the hell is happening? Why aren't we running the ball more? You know what I mean? Like, it was questions like that. Like, he was not used at all to me. Did you get that feeling?
Yeah, and I've there was some time in that first half where probably early the first quarter where like I don't know if he was involved in a play somehow, and I was thinking, okay, he's gonna
Here
be
we go.
he's gonna be
Yeah, I
used,
know exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
and it just disappeared after that. And
Yeah.
maybe KC just had him so covered, and Purdy couldn't go to him. But yeah, Kittle just seemed to disappear at that point.
Yeah. I had those same feelings. Same exact. Like, I mean, I was hoping for at least because I talked so much crap about it last week. But yeah, that was a little surprising to me. The Bosa effect, Joey Bosa.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit offline about that during game time. Like, that pretty much happened as I expected. He was able to get to Mahomes. He was able to create some frustration. As a result, we had old Maardo, Travis Kelce, on the sidelines acting a fool with his coach, which was, I think,
God.
also one of the most insane moments of the Super Bowl game.
It's become the meme of the year so far, and
yeah,
we talk and we joke and we laugh on this show. We also do some serious stuff, but to all the Swifties out there that are concerned for Taylor, football is a passionate game. Just because he yelled at his coach doesn't mean he's beating the shit out of her. Okay, get over yourselves. It's not a red flag.
Yeah, everybody's. I mean, I saw a lot of activity online, like, oh my gosh, she needs to watch out. He's got a temper problem. Like, man, first of all, you don't know this man. I mean, I don't know this man. I don't want to know him, for real.
For all the shit we talked on him last week, like, yeah we're gonna defend him right now.
Yeah. My thing is, was a fine or any type of disciplinary action issued for that?
Not that I've heard.
And, okay, so this is my only thing. Like, I'm big on role models and the youth, right, Mark? This was, I mean, bumping into, like, I mean, it was pretty bad. I mean, I feel like if the right coach, especially like some of these younger coaches, like, dude, if you were to do that to like D'Amico Ryan or my man over there with the Raiders, what's his name, Andre, you might have caught some hands.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like, so let's not saying anybody's glorifying it or anything like that, but let's put that in perspective in regards to being in regards to sportsmanship and being a positive role model. I mean, everybody makes mistakes and things like that, and I do believe that Travis Kelce issued like an apology on his podcast. But me personally, I would like to see something from the league. I would like to see an official statement from Kelce through the NFL, just for sportsmanship's sake. I mean, we're in a day and age now where athletes are getting more and more off the hook. We had drama in the NBA last night, and with the Detroit Pistons and the Phoenix Suns. We've talked about Draymond. We've talked about a lot of violence that is happening outside of the game. I think there's let's try to be a little more responsible in that regard, if you can understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, we've been saying it we said it last week, and I'll say it again. Kansas City Chiefs, they just seem like those, jock douchebags that we used to not like in high school and college and used to kind of dodge on campus, So he kind of fell in line, right?
Yeah. I mean, and we don't know like the dynamics behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Andy Reid, he's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And, I think his skin's thicker than most.
Yeah, I mean,
He's seen it
clearly,
all.
because he clearly didn't have a WTF moment. Like, I mean, he kind of looked at him like, this mug is wilding and went on about his business. So, it's something that he's definitely used to and he wasn't surprised by.
Yeah, he didn't let it faze him. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he would have been more surprised looking at J.J. Watt's hair. I mean, man, what the fuck was going on with that? The first time they put him on screen, I was like, dude, is this guy going through a midlife crisis or something? Like, only thing that was missing was the frosted tips. Hey, were the tips frosted?
They might have been. When I turned on that pregame, I was like, seriously.
It looked like it might have been, or like it tried to be, or something. I don't know. We were bringing back. It was very strong early 2000 vibes, right?
Yeah. Like, oh God, what's his name? Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
In 21 Jump Street when he was in high school.
Oh yes.
Yeah. I turned on that pregame and like I could see JB and I could see I forget who else was on there, but I was seriously like, who is that? Who is that? And like finally 20 minutes later, like they say JJ Watt. I was like, what?
What the hell? Right. And honestly, I never thought I'd see the day when somebody would have a worse hair day than JB, for real. But JB's hair day been creeping on the come up. I mean, I've never seen a hairline. I don't know what you would call it, but reverse recede. Because JB's hairline was starting back in the middle of his head, for real, and now it's come like it's made the ultimate comeback, and he has like a regular forehead now.
He got that LeBron hair.
Yeah, he got them booty hairs put up top of his head. And I gotta say, it's crazy, but his is working a lot better than LeBron's. Because he was looking good, and I just looked at J.J. Watt, and I was like, "What the hell is going?" I couldn't stop saying it. Somebody set him up, and I literally was thinking that, and I don't know why, but I was thinking that I was the only person that was sitting at home, like with the whole WTF. And lo and behold, social media, it is relentless.
Oh yeah.
They poured it on so heavy. that was definitely a surprising moment of the game as well.
He probably just told his stylist, "Look, it's Vegas. It's the Super Bowl. Everyone's gonna be decked out and everything. I want something that makes people talk about me."
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he used the term razzle dazzle.
And he probably did a little flare with his hands while saying it, a little razzle dazzle.
He said, "Come on, hit me with the razzle dazzle." And that's exactly what the fuck he got, man, because there was a whole lot of razzling and dazzling going on up top that head. It was nuts. Well, let's keep it going with the Super Bowl discussion, though. Let's go ahead. We got to do it really quickly. Let's talk about the halftime show. Usher Raymond was in the building, and I'll give him his props. It was an entertaining show. I mean, we all know that he currently has a residency out in Vegas. He's been showing out there. So, in case you didn't know, Alicia Keys is not the first woman that he's felt up on. He does it every night at his show. For all of his special guests, it has become a staple of the performance. And you go to the concert wondering who he's going to feel up tonight. It's a thing, yes. And Alicia Keys was his latest victim. But as far as like the entertainment aspect, the dancing, oh my gosh, the dancing was like some of the best that I've ever seen at the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah. Plus, like half of it was on roller skates.
Yeah, which is another. I don't know if you know this, Mark, but that's another thing of his concert performance.
Is it?
Is they do this roller skating routine? Yeah. A lot of people have been going to see this roller skating routine. He's out on the stage, And pretty much, I felt like, well, now that I've seen the Super Bowl performance, I don't need to go to the Vegas show because, it did everything that everybody's looking for. Everybody's talked about the roller skating bit of the concert. He did that. He felt up a celebrity. That was great. Caused a lot of controversy. But I mean, I gotta tell you, it's no pregnant Rihanna being suspended up hundreds of feet in the air. But it was a good show. It was a good show. It was entertaining.
I don't know if it was my sour mood from that first half, but I did like the halftime show, but for me it started off so shaky.
Yeah, I think we texted each other. I was like, man,
the
Rihanna back on the screen.
The camera work was just really weird in that first little opening part. Like, it was a handheld camera, and it was like
the zoom in with him looking all psycho-y and shit.
Yeah, and I don't know who was producing it and directing it, but like they did that spot where like it shows the dancers on the side and someone like shot up from a cannon or whatever. But that whole segment with that camera work was just so terrible. I was like, oh my god,
real shoddy work.
We've had a bad game so far, and we're gonna get a bad Super Bowl halftime show. This cannot be happening. And they rebounded so well from that, thankfully.
Yeah. I mean, he had a lot of cameos, a lot of special appearances. Before the actual performance itself, we were hearing through social media, oh, Ludacris is in the house. Oh, Alicia Keys is in the house. We didn't hear anything about Little John. We didn't hear anything about Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah.
And oh my God, when her came out on the stage with the guitar, were you not delightfully confused? I mean, I was delightfully confused. Like, man, who is this woman shredding on the guitar? And I'm like, oh my God, that's her. That's not her. Yes, it is. It's fucking her. Like, it was. They had a lot of surprises for the audience, man, and it and I agree with you. At first, I was just as salty as you. I was like, man, this shit trash. And by the end, I was sweating with the rest of America.
Yeah. Well, I had no doubt Luda and Lil Jon were going to be there. Just because we talked about it last week, we figured it would be on the rotation. But there was also that Apple Music little trailer that they did, and I texted that to you. But like they were featured heavily in that promo. So like, if they're gonna get them for the promo, they're definitely gonna get them for the show. Word.
So why don't you grade that halftime performance, Joe? Let's give out some grades.
I'll give it a solid B+. It had that shaky start, bringing it down, but the recovery.
I agree.
Can't beat that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's appropriate. Let's go ahead. How about the game itself? What grade would you give the game?
A negative F. I want to jump into a sci-fi movie so we can suck that memory out of my brain.
See, I'm not gonna give it a negative F, but I mean, I'll give it like a C. I started off by saying I think the more that we talked about it, and like the first half was so dismally down. Game itself, I'll give it a C. It was decent.
Okay.
Second half much more exciting than the first.
Yeah, I'll give it a D+ if I'm gonna give an honest grade, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
But it's funny because like, you started off by calling it epic, and I've had like the NFL Network and stuff on this week, and NFL Network obviously they're owned by the NFL, so they're gonna be a propaganda machine. But they're all saying like, I don't think the word's the best ever, but the way they were talking, it sounded like they thought it was the best damn game ever.
Well, a lot of people, and I think it just become. I mean. What part do you remember the most about these sporting events? The last 10 minutes of the game, right? Who wins?
Oh, yeah.
And I think everybody was kind of driving off that energy, myself included. So, I definitely wouldn't say the officials. Before we talk about our favorites, and I think we probably have the same fucking favorites, I'm going to say overall, I was not impressed with this year's commercials lineup.
Yeah.
there were a lot of times where, there's a couple of breaks I was like, man, where are the good commercials?
It's kind of been the same for like the last 5 years. The commercials have
right?
not been.
And you know what I felt like was very unique about this year? They went political AF. They went political as fuck this season. I mean, Robert Kennedy Jr. had a commercial.
I mean, he spent that money, so.
yeah, but I'm just saying, I just want to get back to Budweiser. You know what I mean? Like, all the fun that we used to have, man. I mean, freaking Jesus, not freaking Jesus, but Jesus had a commercial, Donald Trump had a commercial where you could scan the barcode and be a Trumpette or a Trumpster or whatever.
Yeah.
It was just, it was just really. I felt like the political commercials outweighed the fun ones because, there was only a handful of fun ones that I even remember. To be honest with you, I mean, honestly, only two that really stood out for me.
It's funny too that you're mentioning certain ones, and the Jesus commercial, like that's an ad campaign that's been on for a while, and like they did a Super Bowl ad, but like, I don't know, not to get political ourselves, or we can get really political, I don't care, but conservatives are actually mad about the Jesus commercial that aired at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I saw some shit about if Jesus can pay for a Super Bowl ad, Jesus can pay taxes. What in the like? I honestly read that. I was like, what are these people? Like, that's another "tell them why you mad, son" moment. Like, to even like put those concepts together, Jesus and taxes is, I don't know, a little weird.
But you mentioned Budweiser earlier. I think the Bud commercial was a really good commercial. In a very down year for commercials, that was a bright spot.
Which one was that for the people who didn't, or might have missed it or didn't?
There was the what were they delivering? It was probably beer. It was probably a Budweiser plant, and there was a blizzard, and so like they couldn't make it through the roads, and so like they ended up getting the horses hooked up to a wagon and traversing the snowy drift. Yeah. And I thought it was a pretty cool commercial.
Yeah. I think we both agree on the best commercial, which is Dunkin' Donuts commercial.
Yeah, I mean, if you couldn't tell by our promo image.
Yeah.
Which Tom Brady, what WTF right there, man.
I was telling you offline that as soon as the commercial started, and I saw J-Lo and Ben Affleck, I literally said out loud, like, oh my God, is he going to dance? And they just upped that. I mean, they just went expert level on the whole thing. I mean, I wasn't expecting rapping and dancing, and then with Tom Brady and Matt Damon to boot. Like, dog, to me, that was the best commercial of the night.
And they had the jumpsuits. All they needed was a J.J. Watt hair.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right. That was the best commercial. Another honorable mention for me, and you know how much me and you, Mark, we love T-Mobile, right?
Oh yeah.
The T-Mobile commercial with the actors auditioning for the commercial.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that one as well.
Yeah, that one, and the T-Mobile internet with Jason Momoa and the guys from Scrubs.
Oh yes. But the auditioning commercial, I mean, ending Laura Dern saying, I can cry, and then she puts the little drops in her eyes, and she's like got this serious face, man. It's like freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh.
Got a lot of cameos.
Since we graded the halftime show, we graded the game. Let's go ahead and grade the commercials. I mean, what are you feeling on the commercials? We're probably going to agree on this as well.
I mean, like
you've been a little harsh tonight, though. I don't know.
They weren't the greatest, the commercials, but there were some good ones. And I'll say the movie trailers came on the come through.
Yeah.
That Planet of the Apes looks dope. Deadpool. I missed like the first several minutes of the game because I went online and watched the full trailer. So I'll give it a let's go B minus.
Ooh, I'm gonna be the Grinch on this one. I'm going C. I'm giving that shit a C too. It's just average to me.
Okay.
It's just average to me. Yeah. So, but the counter is on. Football season, the 2023-2024 season is officially closed. Or let's just say the 2023 season. And we now set our clocks. We set our clocks and our fantasy clocks for August.
Well,
go ahead.
March 30th, the UFL.
Man, please. I'm sorry. I'm probably not supposed to. I probably shouldn't say that, but
I am kind of interested because it's the merged leagues, USFL and XFL merged. So
right, we talked about that a couple of months ago,
yeah.
right?
And like they published their rules the other day, and they've been underway with mini camps, so it's kind of exciting to see.
We'll definitely be talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the only thing I'm really counting down for right now is the Olympics. For real. Oh, and of course, opening day. Of course, opening day. Can't forget about the Orioles. But, I'm trying to think. Was there something else I wanted to say? No, I'm going to go ahead and conclude that football discussion. We're putting that in the books. Locking it up, throwing it away. Let's go on to basketball because, this is what tonight is really about. Damn, we spent like 30 minutes talking about the Super Bowl. That's all good, though. Yeah, but basketball, really, while we're here tonight, there's a lot going on. As I said earlier in the game, earlier in the show, that, we have our last few games, 3 games tonight. We all turn our attention to Indianapolis, Indiana, where the All-Star game is being played, all of the festivities and whatnot. Let's talk about that, man. First thing on the NBA portion of the menu, there was some rumors released this week. We had the trade deadline next week. People were on the move. There were winners, losers. We all know about that, right? But this week's buzz was that there were teams out there that actually inquired about obtaining LeBron James of the Los Angeles Lakers.
No, that's teams plural because I really only heard about the one.
Oh, yes. Teams plural. Okay? And I guess since you only heard about the one, I'm about to surprise you with another one.
Okay.
The only reason why I even know about this is because I haven't really seen it on the internet. I just so happened to be watching last night's game with the Golden State Warriors, and that was one of the teams that had inquired about LeBron James. Okay, if you didn't know, it was the Golden State Warriors, which, I mean, come on. I don't know who gave them that bright idea or why they thought that they could even waste time on that. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
But guess who else inquired? Mark, you will not believe it. Or maybe you will. I don't know. Philadelphia 76ers.
Okay. They did inquire about him. Okay.
Yes, they actually did. They said, they called up Pelinka and was like, hey, what do you think about LeBron? Is he available? Do you know what his response was? And I quote,
huh.
Is Joel Embiid available? I mean, just to put things into perspective for you, like, dude, they're not going to trade LeBron James. Like, I don't even know why. I mean, maybe you can give me some reasoning, some rhyme to the recklessness. Why would you inquire about LeBron James?
I don't know. Like,
yeah,
we love the Lakers. He's done a whole lot for the team, but he's definitely on that upper side of his career,
Yeah.
and I mean, maybe he does have the intangibles, I guess, that you look for in a leader. I don't know.
I mean, it was just like the most weird. And we talked about that offline as well, and I was just like, man, weird. Why? Like, I'm mad that it even happened because we had to talk about it all week, and it was just so dumb to me, honestly. Like, yeah, come on,
Yeah.
let's get real. I mean, seriously, there's no way that man's leaving this team. That team.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So, all right, I think we spent the appropriate amount of time on that since it's so ridiculous. And speaking of Golden State, I mean, they've got bigger problems to me. And the biggest problem is somebody who I actually happen to love, Klay Thompson. Dude, is this Klay Thompson's last season in Golden State? What do you think?
It's funny because we've talked about this before in years past.
Yeah.
And it was never time. It was never time. But
I think we're here now.
The NBA, it's always rotating. There's always people. The Warriors have had a hell of a run with a core group, but at the end of the day, there's a time that someone's got to leave. Whether retirement or going to a new team, and I think Klay might be done there, and I think Steph's going to be one of those guys that stays with the same team and retires with the Warriors.
Oh, of course.
But,
I mean, yeah, that's another thing. Like, please, if I ever hear anybody acquiring about Seth Curry and Golden State, it's the same thing with LeBron. Like, man, please, get yourself together.
Yeah.
He's living and dying with that team, career-wise. Excuse me. I mean, that might not have been a good terminology to use, but career-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But back to this All-Star game out in Indianapolis. I'm happy to say that we are returning to the old format, East versus West. How do you feel about that?
I like that. Like,
Me too.
Yeah.
That whole draft crap and everything, like, seriously, that shit was dumb. In my opinion.
The professor says Klay will be a Laker next year. Watch.
Holy crap. I hope not. Jesus Christ. I mean, have we not learned anything? I don't know. I don't know. And you know what, man? There was a game. Let me think about which game it was. There was a game, Los Angeles Lakers game last week. Oh gosh, who did they play? And they pushed them to the limit. Man,
Klay would
was it the Denver game where LeBron James wasn't playing? And they played like so well with just the young core out there.
Yes, I think it was the Denver game.
Yeah, and LeBron, posted during social media because he just can't. He has to steal the thunder somehow. With the hourglass insinuating that time was running out for him, like that young group can really ball and can really run and is really suited to today's NBA game. Can we please stop bringing old heads to the Lakers? I mean, people are at the end of their career. Seriously.
Klay would be an infusion of youth for that team.
Dog, man.
I mean...
Man.
Yeah. They need some younger guys for sure.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I as much as I love Klay, I'd be opposed to that. I really would. It is. I feel like they might. I don't know what the problem is. I mean, there's obviously, anytime that a big player is out, I mean, the same does ring true when Joel Embiid is in the game versus when Joel Embiid is out of the game. When Draymond Green is in the game versus when Draymond Green was serving a suspension. The teams look totally different without their nucleus, right? But it's just really hard to put my finger on what to do with the Lakers. And I feel like, the Lakers organization, the brass, is going through the same thing. Because, prior to this, they were talking about getting rid of D'Angelo Russell. And you got rid of D'Angelo, you got rid of Russell Westbrook, you bought D'Angelo Russell. I mean, it's just, so is it a point guard situation there? Is it general personnel? I can't really put my finger on it.
Oh, I can put my finger on it.
Oh, what do you want? What do you say?
It's LeBron. It's LeBron's team. Ownership is going to do whatever for LeBron.
Well, GM, as the youngins like to call
him. The organization is going to do whatever they can for LeBron because he does bring those eyes. He does bring,
money.
A lot of money. So yeah. This season, at the end of the season, LeBron has a decision to make. He can sign his option. It's like a $51.2 million option to stay, or he can hit the free agent market again, which he's done that in the past.
Right.
And I heard some speculation. Maybe he could go to the 76ers and team up with Joel Embiid, and that would be an interesting duo. Not gonna lie, but I think LeBron likes the deal that he has with the Lakers.
Yeah.
He's not gonna find another team that will kowtow to everything that he asks for. So until he retires, they're stuck with the old squad.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. And that makes me really sad. Let's talk about the WNBA. Well, actually, I'm sorry. Can we back up to the All-Star game really quickly?
Oh yeah.
And give a couple of shout outs. We got the dunk contest, right? We got the dunk contest. We got Jaylen Brown of the Celtics, Matt McClune of the Magics, Jacob Toppin, brother of Obi. Excuse me, brother of Obi Toppin, representing the Knicks, and Jamie Jacquez Jr. from the Heat. I'm not really familiar with the last gentleman. I'm not familiar with Jamie from the Heat. But really quickly, my vote's going to Jaylen Brown, man. That dude's got ups, and he's got a lot of explosiveness. For me personally, out of the four.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so that's my pick for the dunk contest. I'm happy to see that it's still a part of All-Star Weekend. It will never go. It will go away. We've seen All-Star activities come and go. There were some things that I read about that I had completely forgotten about, like how in the early 2000s they had added a game of horse to the All-Star Weekend. I'm so glad they got rid of that. But the dunk contest is forever. They actually have something that I think is fun and exciting regarding some of the best shooters in the game. We have the Steph versus Sabrina competition. So what happened was, do you know the story behind this?
No.
It's a fun, cute story. So let's talk about this really quickly. Sabrina won a three-point contest during the WNBA All-Star Weekend in July. I don't know if you remember this, Mark, but this past summer we watched all of the festivities and we really enjoyed their All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
And to me, the NBA has some big shoes to fill because WNBA really nailed it. It was the first time that I can really say I enjoyed it from start to finish. So big shout out to the WNBA. But during the All-Star Weekend, Sabrina Ionescu of the New York Liberty, right?
Oh, yeah.
Won the three-point shooting contest in July, and during that, she had a record-breaking final round of 37 points. Okay? Now, the WNBA and NBA, they are like brother-sister franchises. There are a lot of NBA players that support and follow the WNBA and vice versa. So naturally, one of the NBA's best shooters was watching this competition and made a comment of, awesome or spectacular. We're talking about Steph Curry in response to Sabrina's epic performance during this competition. And Sabrina responds with one word: shootout, question mark, question mark. And thus was the birth of this epic competition going down this weekend. We got the Steph versus Sabrina. Dog. We know what Sabrina brings. Like I said, she's the current champion in the 3-point contest. Steph has won that competition twice, and they're going to face each other this weekend, the All-Star weekend. Okay. Who wins this competition?
I
love it.
I can't say either way.
I'm just kidding. I'm gonna make the bold prediction because I know there are a lot of Steph fans out there, but I'm going with Sabrina, dude. I'm going with Sabrina. I have a feeling she might be wearing like some Kobe's, or if she's not wearing, doesn't she have a shoe?
I don't know. That'd be awesome.
She might have a shoe.
I think she does. She might. Yeah.
Yeah, if she's not wearing her own, I'm thinking some variation of a Kobe or something like that. But I got my money on Sabrina. I'm actually hoping that this is a prop this weekend because that would make it a little bit fun, a little more interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, man. I mean, it's all going down this weekend, and they got a lot of fun things set up. The All-Star Celebrity Game still jamming.
Tomorrow
Legends Game still jamming. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
The Celebrity Game I enjoy.
Yes.
Every year it's gonna be on ESPN tomorrow at 7. And I don't know if they've done it before or not. I'm pretty sure they did. They have the NBA HBCU Classic. That's Saturday at 2. Two CIAA teams, which we're familiar with the CIAA.
I think they did it last year. I want to say they did.
Yeah, was that the first year?
I think
so.
It was.
Virginia Union University Panthers and the Winston-Salem State University Rams.
We're
gonna have a game down there 2 p.m. Saturday. So that's awesome to have them included in part of the All-Star Weekend events.
Yeah, nice. So, yep, we'll be looking forward to that and tuning in and watching. What's up?
All right, so talking about Sabrina and Steph, the professor says she only missed 2 shots in the final round last year.
Holy crap.
But his prediction, Steph wins, she'll be too nervous.
Oh, my God. See that? I feel like I say this almost every show, but we got to bump heads on at least one thing. We bump heads. So this is for all the bragging rights, girls versus the guys. And we'll talk about that next week. But let's continue on with women's basketball. We got a record. We're on record watch tonight, right? NCAA women's basketball. Caitlin Clark of the Iowa. What is it? Iowa Cyclones?
Hawkeyes.
Hawkeyes. Iowa State Cyclones. Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. So she set the breaking record. Everybody's got their eye on this game tonight, which is about to start in 10 minutes. Iowa plays Michigan. They should beat Michigan handedly, especially coming off of an upset loss to Nebraska on Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay? A lot of people thought she was going to do it on Super Bowl Sunday. She did not get it done. They lost the game. It was heartbreaking. Oh, my God. So now, we play Michigan. It's going down tonight. Guess how much the average ticket price is to get to this game?
Oh, I don't know what it is right now, but I know at noon on Pat McAfee's show, they said the cheapest one was $217. So I can't imagine what the average price is.
Average cost is $400.
Oh, man.
Which is very high for this event. and rightfully so.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark has had a fantastic season. Um, I'm pretty sure that she'll get Player of the Year for the NCAA.
Yes.
NCAA. I mean, we just talk about Sabrina and how great of a shooter she is. I mean, this kid, Caitlin Clark, deserves all of her accolades, all of the hype. I mean, very pure shooter. I know they are salivating for her to get to the WNBA because, that will boost the WNBA that much more as far as popularity and revenue is concerned.
Yep.
I mean, this kid's got it. She's got it. Ultimate star power. And this is, I mean, you couldn't have wrote this up any better, right? On the heels of March Madness, what? Do you know, like, after this goes down, how many people are going to be converted to Iowa Hawkeyes fans and will be supporting them going into the tournament?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So it's really good for the sport, really good for the NCAA. It's going to be great. Mark, we talked about it offline. We got to throw an easy money pick in there.
Now, let's set this up. So, entering the night, a few minutes before game time here, game's going to be on Peacock if you're watching. She is only 8 points away from breaking that record. What is the over-under on her points?
Okay, there we go. 35.5 outside.
Oh, man.
Okay. That is, to me, that's a ton of points even for Caitlin Clark. And, another thing is, this is going to be a beatdown. Okay? It is not going to be anything like what happened with Nebraska last week. So, what I'm thinking? I'm thinking she breaks the record. She only needs 8 points. Maybe, after she breaks the record, she puts another 10 to 15 on top. And then she sits her ass down for the game.
Really?
That's what I'm thinking. I am thinking that she's going to end up with, 25 to 30 points. 25, 30 max.
Okay.
For the evening. So, I'm thinking under 35.5. That's a ton of points.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if it's a beatdown. You don't want to leave your best player out there. You need her for the tournament. I mean, it would be absolutely dumb if she breaks the record. God forbid she injures herself to continue showboating. You know what I mean? If it's a blowout, I'd sit her down.
That's a good point. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last week you had mentioned the importance of how many teams had 100 points, and it sounds like this could be an easy 100-pointer for Iowa. Yeah,
and I said last week that they're right up there. If they're not the top two teams, but they're right up there with LSU. They've had 7 games already. This could very well. I agree with you, Mark. This could be number 8 for the season for the Iowa Hawkeyes. So, like I said, let's get ready to start, and we'll all be keeping an eye on that as well. I think I checked off everything on the menu. Mark, did I forget anything, or is there anything that you'd like to toss out there for our outsiders before we sign off?
We talked about we can shelve it for next week, but we talked about the NBA All-Star game coming up, and the MVP race is heating up, and there's some new rules.
Oh yeah, can we table that till next week?
Yeah, let's shelve it for next week.
Talk about we'll do the recap on that and everything.
Yeah, and also we'll shelve for next week or a week after that. But some breaking news came down like less than an hour before the show started. Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred leaving after his contract expires. That was pretty big news, I thought.
2029 looks like last year.
Yeah.
Going to be for him. So I agree. Big news as well. Like I said, spring training is just getting started. So I feel like next week, Mark, we'll continue this NBA, this basketball discussion, and then we'll start talking about baseball because pitchers and catchers reported this week. The rest of the team should be starting to filter in next week, and games starting up. So I think that'll be a good look.
Yeah. The professors at WNBA, I know we talked to about Sabrina, and we want to talk about those trades and everything, but
Yeah,
we'll have more time next week.
yeah, because I did. You spent a lot more time on the Super Bowl than I wanted to. Gosh, but you couldn't help yourself. But I did. I wanted to talk more about the WNBA. I wanted to talk more about, in particular, the Mystics. You know, we're here in the DMV. That's very important to us. They've had a lot of changes, a lot of announcements, especially in regards to Della Dawn. But, Mark, let's make a note to table that for next week as well.
Yep. Sounds good.
Okay, great. I think, so, you know, as Lamar said, is that all, folks?
That's all, folks.
Okay, all right. Well, Baltimore 410. You know how we end this show. Spread love, yo. It's flu season. We still got pandemic vibes going on out there. People are still catching COVID. So let's keep those hands clean. Wash your hands, wash your ass. Oh, man, you guys have a great week. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I am Keisha, and on the other end of the line is my favorite slice of pizza, my Papa Pepperoni Mark, and we are just a bit outside. Peace.